Hello everybody, this is Troy Napsker with the Spine Joint Wellness Center again. Today we're going to be talking about diabetes and the diabetes reversal program that we have here in the office. What we're going to do is we're going to discuss exactly what is diabetes, what are some of the complications, why does diabetes occur, and then how do we treat it very much so different than traditional medicine. So let's dive right in. Diabetes is essentially a problem with our body's ability to metabolize sugar and utilize it correctly. So what's going on is we're eating foods, and these foods are being converted over to sugar, and our cells are no longer able to get sugar inside of them, and the sugar levels become elevated and then causing us problems. Now, many Americans don't realize that the foods that we're eating, some of them are converted directly over to sugar. Some of these things are very obvious to some folks, some of them are not, and some of these foods do have hidden sugars in them. And what we see is that diabetics each and every day are taking medications like glycosylation, insulin. There's a whole pile of medicines, but despite taking medicines, sugar numbers aren't completely under control, and quite frankly, we're still developing problems. Now, by that I mean, how many people out there know a diabetic that's taking diabetes medicines that is no longer diabetic? And the answer obviously is zero, none. Everybody taking medicines for diabetes is going to continue to be diabetic. And what we're seeing is that despite taking medicines, every single diabetic out there, the majority of are starting to develop the complications of diabetes. Let's talk about those. So complications of diabetes, what's going on? What is happening to diabetics that's very different than someone that doesn't have diabetes? So the complications of diabetes, number one, diabetic retinopathy. Okay, diabetics are having problems with their eyes and vision and are going blind. So we see a lot of diabetics starting to develop those issues despite medicines. Number two, kidney failure, kidney problems, chronic kidney disease, and at some point, dialysis. A high percentage of diabetics are going on dialysis and developing chronic kidney disease and kidney failure because of a complication of their diabetes. Number three, the one that we see most commonly here in our office, diabetic neuropathy. Nerve pains, numbness, and tingling in the feet. Despite, again, medications to help control blood sugar, all of these things are continuing to occur. Now, why is that? Why are these things continuing to develop despite taking medicines? So even though we're taking medicines and maybe we're seeing some hemoglobin A1Cs, quote unquote, come down into normal levels, or blood sugar levels, are okay, despite that, when blood sugar levels are just very slightly over 100 and elevated, and we still have some insulin resistance, what happens is that extra sugar that's floating around in our bloodstream is going to begin to attach to things. It's called glycosylation, if you would like to look this up and research it. So what's going on with glycosylation is that this excess sugar, it's attaching to things. It's attaching to and damaging our microcirculation, the smallest of the small blood vessels that we have in our hands, our feet, our eyes, and our kidneys become damaged. That's why we're developing these problems we just talked about. There's a much larger list of other problems that are going on, but these are the three big ones. Going blind, diabetic retinopathy, kidney failure, having to go on dialysis, and diabetic neuropathy. The reason this is occurring is diabetics are losing that small microcirculation. We lose that circulation going to the nerves in the eyes, we become blind. Those nerves can no longer function anymore. We lose the small blood vessels going in through the kidneys and helping the kidneys function properly. We lose our ability for our kidneys to function. We lose the small blood vessels in our feet and hands from excess blood sugar. We lose the circulation in our hands and feet, and then the nerves, the small nerves that those are giving the blood supply and oxygen and nutrients to, begin to become damaged and essentially begin to die, and therefore we develop symptoms. So what makes our program very different than what you're getting with traditional medicine? Well, number one is we don't use any medicines at all. And number two, we're going to get down to the nuts and bolts of the problem, and that's nutrition. Diabetic and diabetic neuropathy and retinopathy and kidney problems. All of these issues are going back to elevated blood sugars. So what we do is we're going to get down to the nuts and bolts of the issue. We're going to start talking about nutrition. And oftentimes when we're talking about nutrition with diabetics, we will flip your entire perception of what proper nutrition is. And we're going to see blood sugars normalize. And we're going to see patients come off of medicines. One of my favorite patients who we've helped with this was on 42 units of insulin a day. His video is up on our Facebook page. His name's Mike. If you go to our Facebook page, Advanced Spine, Joint, and Wellness, and you look for a video, you'll see a young man. He's 74 years old in a white shirt. This man lost 30 pounds in 30 days naturally by eating correctly and went from 42 units of insulin a day to 0. This is a real patient here in our practice. This occurs every single week. We put Mike up on the Facebook page because he is just such a fantastic, fun guy. But these are real stories. His family doctor couldn't believe it. So if you're diabetic, you're seeing problems, you're not getting the help you need, you're still feeling fatigued, your blood sugar is still out of control, you're developing neuropathy, retinopathy, kidney problems, give us a call. You're going to see on this video our office number, which is 330-721-6504. You can visit our website at www.adv-health.com. You can also follow us on our YouTube station. We're also on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at spine with a capital S, so Spine and Joint 82, and that's Twitter. You can follow us there. All this information will be on these social media platforms as well as YouTube. Stay tuned. We're going to have some more videos on this video lecture series about diabetic neuropathy specifically, thyroid, and many more things to come. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. If you have questions, give us a call.